Hi, everybody. Welcome to podcast number 2. We're putting the plumb bob over the head of senior producer for the Sims 2 console, Scot Amos.
All right. Well, this is Scot Amos. Thank you, Dano, for the intro there.
We've asked the Sims 2 community to provide us with a few questions for today's podcast. And our first question is from Kingdom Place. He asks, what will make me want to buy these games? What will be included in the console version that wasn't included in the PC edition that will stand out and make me want to buy it?
This is a great question. It's one of the things we got asked a lot about all the different versions of the game, specifically for us on the console side for PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. It's been fantastic. Once we have taken the core simulator from the Sims 2 PC from last year, the Wants and Fears and Aspirations system, and then added all kinds of new content to it, added direct control, added a whole new social game, added a fashion creation system, a food creation system. We've put in all new gameplay mechanics that have never been seen before on a Sims 2 game. On top of that, we've added all new objects, about 350 new objects, this entire fashion system I talk about with 550 pieces that can be custom created into hundreds of thousands of outfits. So we've put in all new ways for people to play their favorite Sims 2 game ever.
Next question is from Asia W247. With the Sims 2, we navigate our Sims through life with the click of a mouse. My question is, how will the Sims be navigated on the other consoles? Scott?
Yeah, so awesome. This is one of the things that we invested heavily in at the beginning when we started developing the Sims 2 for console, was specifically making it direct control. So we actually have the ability, much like any classic console game, you can take a character, you use the left thumbstick, you move them through the world the way you'd want to, just grab onto them and drive them anywhere and everywhere. And it's one of those things that gives us a great way of letting players reach into the game and have a much more efficient, much newer way to touch their characters and actually see, oh, if I want to grab onto this character and get Nina Caliente and drive her over to put out a fire directly with the fire extinguisher, I can do that now. Or I can pick up a vacuum cleaner and actually in a matter of seconds as opposed to sim minutes, I can take all the trash out of the house, and just it really makes the game a much newer, much more unique feel for console. We also have classic control. So if you want to go to a more point-and-click style game that I've seen in previous console versions, we have that ability as well, which is really kind of the higher-level management game when you want to handle 5 or 6 Sims at one time and have them, queue up actions. So we have both styles of play, but the direct control style has really been custom designed for the console players.
So it sounds like there's a lot for everybody there.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Oh, cool. My next question here is from Stasium74.
What does Stacy want to know?
Stacy, I think it's Stacy M. I don't know. It's kind of a weird name, but yeah, Stacy M wants to know: are the aspirations, wants, and fears the same as in the PC version?
That's actually a really popular question as well. We end up having 5 aspirations on console, just like the PC version. We actually have 4 from the PC. We have knowledge, wealth, romance, and popularity. And then for the 5th aspiration, we have a brand new one for console called creativity. Because we've added this whole new fashion creation game, this whole new food creation game, and actually added in some new ways of custom building your world inside the console, we have an entire aspiration dedicated to pushing all those systems that help you show off, okay, I have to figure out how to build a fruit tree or a vegetable garden and then maintain it and then harvest the fruit and vegetables from that I then use to make some really custom food bits that is, again, a completely unique way of playing the game, kind of making your own power-ups on the console side. So we certainly do have aspirations. We certainly have the Wants and Fears system from PC. It's the heart and soul that gave us that kind of baseline to build from. And then we've rebuilt that for console with about 250 completely unique Wants and Fears for the console.
And fruit trees.
And fruit trees, actually, yes.
Fruit trees.
Fruit trees.
Oh, well. Goldie and Goldie asks, in the Xbox, is the game also never-ending, or is it with many levels that you must complete?
Right, so this is for console. When we looked at the design, we actually have 16 brand new locations inside the console version. 12 of those are actually story locations that have characters with storylines, the NPCs that live there, and each of those storylines has what we call a tree of wants. We have these golden wants you must accomplish to finish the story. Then we have the classic green wants and red fears from the PC version. As you complete each of the gold wants, you unlock a platinum want. By achieving a platinum one, it unlocks the next location or set of locations. So through that, we actually have a type of thread that runs all the locations in the story mode together. But it's not a matter of you have to play that. We have an entire free play mode as well that has 4 lots that you build from ground zero up, so you can make your custom dream home whatever you want it to be, as well as building your roommates, even of building a type of family where you can create 4 different Sims that live together in that location, and then people will come and visit you there. So you have both open-ended gameplay where you can tell all your own stories. We have the story mode that you can play through from start to finish. But once you've unlocked the story mode, all those locations are yours to play with. So you can go back there, you can get married, you can kick people out of the lots, you can invite people into the locations, you can flatten them and rebuild them from scratch with the build buy mode. So you really have a complete custom world that you can take over and do anything you want to on the console side.
Wow. That's, again, a lot for everybody there. The next question is from Faithful4567. They ask, will any of the console games have the option of internet play? And if not, do you guys ever hope to add internet play to the console games?
So specifically for the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube on The Sims 2, we do not have internet play this year. Our biggest focus was to get this massive game that's been so hugely popular and successful from the PC side moved over onto the consoles and do it faithfully and accurately. So our biggest focus was get all that great gameplay put together, built, and redefined for the consoles. So that's been our focus this year, not online play. We do, however, have a two-player split-screen mode. So for the first time ever, you can actually play The Sims 2 with a buddy and actually sit there on the couch together, two controllers in hand, and split screen, go through the game and accomplish the one spheres, or, again, in free play, tell your own stories together. So while we don't have online play, we do have split-screen two-player for the consoles.
Warm and Cozy 74 asks, will you be able to have any children on any of the console games? I really miss getting married and having kids.
We get asked this particular one a lot. This one actually and aging are the two big questions that people have asked us that are Sims 2 PC players, saying these are important elements from PC. What are you doing with them on console? When we specifically designed the game for the console version, we looked at what do console players expect and how do we get the real heart and soul of the PC version onto console and give everybody a new way to play this game. So we didn't want to just port or convert the PC version over. We actually wanted to redefine it and customize it for a console player's expectations, how they play, the audience, the kind of game they want. So having a direct control game is kind of the heart of it with the Once and Fears from the Aspiration gameplay. We looked at it and said, okay, we want to take a slice of life, just one segment of that kind of aging curve and say we want people to play in this time period. So they actually can build their own Sims. They can build fairly young Sims, kind of teenagers up through 30, 40-somethings. They also can build older Sims if they want. So they can actually build specific characters and make them look the way they want to give that kind of story flavor. And the characters who live there actually have different ages as far as young or old. But in the game itself, there's no specific aging and there's no specific kids because we wanted the gameplay experience for this time to be unique to console. So all those flavors and feelings of Sims 2, all that great Once and Fears gameplay, driving all of it, but giving you just one segment, one slice of life for you to play on the console side.
Scott, do you have anything that you want to add?
First off, I want to thank everybody for these awesome questions. I mean, we got more questions than we could possibly answer in the time we have for this podcast. And it's fantastic to have the opportunity to get up here and be able to talk about all the stuff we're doing for console. It's been just a love affair for us to be able to make this thing and take such a great game we all love and then redefining that for the console version and trying to give it a custom, unique experience for console players. But as far as just the overall roots of the game, the things that we love, one thing we didn't talk about a lot this particular time was the social game. And because of the direct control aspects, because we redesigned the game for direct control, things like social interactions are now also more direct controlled. When you go into social game, you're actually one-on-one, the camera zooms in, kind of blurs out the world around you, so you have this kind of interest meter where you are focused on one character and can react immediately to how their stance changes. So we have this really deep social game that's much different than the PCs. We have the ability to play like the PC, where you can point and click on someone and just queue up a series of actions. But in the social mode itself, now you can actually watch their body language and their facial expressions. You get a sense if somebody's falling in love with you or if they're hating you. And then the actions that you can choose change depending on that. So it gives you this really engaging conversation system that we built for console. So it's one of those really highlights that we don't get to talk about a lot because everybody's interested in new objects. Absolutely. Everything from the ground up is all new for console. New locations. The whole direct control and classic mode control systems, and the fashion game and food game, which are the two biggest pieces just to give console players for the first time their own way of creating their new content. So we just, it's one of those things that gets a little bit overlooked, but in general, there's just so much new stuff. We can't wait to get Sims 2 players to grab this thing and see a whole new way to play their favorite Sims game.
All right, that wraps things up. Thanks everybody for showing up. We'll talk to you at the next podcast. Scott, thanks for coming by and answering everybody's questions. Awesome.